Welcome to Family Worship Center, where our mission is to make disciples and our passion is the presence of God. Does God care about our work ethic? Do you go about your day ready to conquer your tasks, or do you tend to go through the motions and stay in complacency? In today's video, Pastor Shawn reflects on Solomon's words in Proverbs 10 as it relates to work. But before we continue, make sure to like this video and subscribe to our channel for more uplifting content. And if you're in the Central Florida area, we'd love to see you right here on Sunday for our 9 and 11 a.m. services. Let's dive in.
Proverbs chapter 10 and verse 4 says, "A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich." Let me just put this out there. I don't care what you're going to do or what you do for a living. And by the way, they say 85% of the people hate their job, so I'm going to assume if 85% of you hate your job, you'll probably be doing something different tomorrow. So let's just say whatever you're doing today or whatever you're doing tomorrow, whatever it is, you're going to have to work hard. Like, everybody has to work hard to be blessed. It says a slack hand causes poverty. We don't need to look for policies to live by or worldviews to hang on to that allow us to just do less and have more. I actually want to do more and have more. I'm not looking to do less and have more. How can we do more and have more? Like, how can we work harder? People realize, work smarter, not harder. Great, let's work smart and hard. Let's do both. Like, we should actually want to be hard-working people. Let me just put this out there, and this is not a statistic that people like, but today the Israelites or Jews or whatever the modern phrase might be used on the nation of Israel, if we go all the way back, God gave them these principles under the law. They have lived by these principles. Most of them aren't even believers today. Yet they still live by these principles. And Jewish people who live in America, they make up 3% of our population. 3. How many of you realize out of 100%, 3 is not a lot? I know people hate numbers, but since I'm going to throw some out there, let's make sure. 3, 100. 3 is not much. They are 3% of America. 50% of them, half of them, all make over $100,000 a year. That's past that happy threshold. Half of them. It's also fascinating that 25% of them are on the Forbes richest 400 Americans. 25% of the 3% are on that list of 400. Like, do you realize no matter who you are, if you follow the principles of God, there's blessing? Like, Jesus said it like this that makes people mad. He said it's going to rain on the just and the unjust. The sun is going to come up on the believer or the unbeliever. If somebody's willing to work hard and not have a slack hand, that hard work will lead to prosperity. Please understand that your giving doesn't overwrite your work ethic. We'll get to giving in a minute, but let's just start at the easy part. I actually think for most people, it's easier to work hard than give something away. So we'll just start there. A slack hand causes poverty, but the hand of the diligent makes rich. Let's go on. Proverbs chapter 13 and verse 11 says, "Wealth that is gained hastily will diminish, but everyone who gathers little by little will increase it." Anybody get into these DraftKings commercials? Am I the only one? I think the whole Kevin Hart LeBron thing is hilarious. I think I love Sunday commercials to watch LeBron and Kevin Hart on these DraftKings commercials. Y'all are too religious to laugh in church, but you know. You know. Like when Kevin Hart's just sitting on that chair, I messed up. I mean, that's the funniest thing. That's just hilarious. Okay, I'm the only one. Whatever. I'll get it right tonight since you guys, just me and James Liebel. We'll laugh. You guys can, rest of you, whatever. I don't care. But like, why has this become such a big deal? Why is this? Because we just want to give $100 hoping on the Dallas Cowboys and we'll get a windfall. Right? It's not because we suddenly need something else to keep us occupied. It's not because we need something else to take our money. Inflation's through the moon right now. Trust me, nobody's looking to just hand money away. But there's this idea, this hope of, if I just put a little bit in, I'm going to get something massive back. 70% of every single person who has won the lottery, hundreds of millions of dollars, they're bankrupt in a few years. Most people aren't going to make $50 million in a lifetime. These folks won it in a moment, and they're broke in a few years. Why? Because wealth gained hastily will dwindle, but everyone who gathers little by little will increase it. Sometimes we're like, man, if somebody would just give me, like that guy got something, give it him. Somebody just give me something. If they give me what they gave them, everything would be so much better for me. Only 11% of all millionaires today in the United States of America inherited anything. That means 9 out of 10 Americans who are millionaires, they just worked hard and they just gathered little by little, little by little. They didn't inherit it. It wasn't handed to them, just little by little, and increased it. You're not going to get away from the principles of the gospel. You work hard, gather little by little. Moving right along, since this is going so well. Proverbs chapter 14 and verse 23 says that in all work there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty. You ever met those people that always talk about what they're going to do? Oh man, I'll tell you what I'm going to do. We'll do it. I'm going to. No, like right now. No, I can't right now. I'm going to though. No, you're not. Just always talking about stuff. This is our fascination. If you're younger, this is your fascination with the idea of being a YouTuber and an influencer, because you see people on there and it just looks like all they're doing is talking and they're making millions and millions of dollars. But here's the thing, that person that is talking, do you realize how many years they spent doing something? I mean, take the most wasteful thing that parents complain about their kids, especially their teenage boys, doing today: video games. They complain and complain and complain. But you know what? There are people who spent hours playing video games who got really good at it, and then they started posting themselves playing video games, and they're making millions today. We're like, look, they just play a video game and they're making millions. No. No, they skipped homework. They skipped cleaning their room. They said no to chores. They said no to bedtime. They said no to all kinds of stuff. They just said, no, I'm not doing it. I'm going to sacrifice. How can you make this positive? I'm going to sacrifice all this stuff to just sit in their room and play video games and get better and better and better and better. And suddenly you call yourself ninja, put yourself on Twitch, and now you got money, man. But it was years. It was hours. People complain about Tom Brady. All he does is talk. $375 million contract for Fox. No. Do you realize when that kid was 8, he's throwing a ball rep after rep after rep after rep after rep? In college, when he wasn't even playing, he just kept repping day after day after day after day. And then he gets into the NFL and he just keeps on working. Have you ever paid attention to that guy's, like just his health habits? So it might look like he's just talking today, but do you realize all the work that he did to give him a right to sit in that seat to talk? This is where we get messed up. Rather than following people who have experience and effort that gives them a right to say something, we're following lazy people with silver tongues, and we have nothing because they have nothing without us. They only have what we support them, but there are other people, they had what they had, they made what they made because they worked hard, and then they can actually help you get more, but you got to pay attention to them. Let's quit listening to people who've never done anything. You don't need a 21-year-old life coach. You don't need one. No, I'm for real. They might look good, you might, oh man, but they can't help you in marriage. They're not married. They don't know what that's like. Last thing I want to be is lectured by somebody in my marriage by somebody who hasn't been married. Don't tell me how to raise teenagers if you don't have any. When all you can do is strap your kid in the back seat and they can't leave, you don't tell me how to keep mine in their bedroom when they're 14. You just strap yours in the back and they don't go anywhere. I did that too. It was great. But I know what it's like to look out the window and there's little footprints in the snow that have left their bedroom, and I'm thinking, what in the world? Where are they? You put your baby in a crib, they're still there when you go back. Don't tell me about raising teenagers. Okay. In all work, there is profit, but mere talk tends only to poverty.